So, it's been about 3 months at this point since the defeat of Zsothorum T'thara. And Anya, you are in Bertie's home. What are you doing?
So Anya, I can imagine it's somewhat early-ish in the morning, not super early, probably about mid-morning-ish, early to mid-morning. She's quite relaxed in the kitchen of Bertie's newly finished home. So she's wandering around barefoot. She's probably wearing like some quite casual clothes, and she's just enjoying a coffee. Every now and then she sort of will stop at a different magical effect or something, some sort of charm that Bertie has on his property, and is just sort of feeling it out in a very casual sort of way, just establishing more sort of comfort levels. And sometimes a look over her face will be a look of like a little bit of discomfort, in which case she'll pull back a little bit, but she will slowly sort of reach back out and get a feel for that magic. And she's pottering around, having a quiet morning, enjoying the peace, with Bertie not around. Bertie is has left for the morning, and she's just enjoying the peace and quiet of the kitchen to herself.
Okay. It's at about this time that you hear a knocking on the front door.
Bertie? Let me know when you're coming to the door. And he's going to keep knocking.
Anya, she sort of takes a bit of a breath, and she sort of frowns a little bit at the statement of Caius's, but when she gets to the door, she's like, Caius, I'm opening the door. And then she pulls the door
open. Caius has stepped back about a foot and has stopped knocking. Oh. Hello.
Hi, Caius.
Is Bertie here?
He's gone to work on the shop. I don't know when he's coming. Would you like a drink? Tea, coffee?
I just I can probably have a tea.
Anya, she sort of steps back and gestures for him to come in. She's looking not so much tense, but just a little bit awkward. And she takes like a big swig of her coffee as Caius walks past her. She's like,
so Caius strolls in. He's not wearing armor at the moment. He's wearing fine quality, but still normal-ish looking clothes. He's got 3/4 length pants on. He's got a nice short-sleeved blue shirt on, and he's got some noble vestments over the top. He is carrying his sword with a shield slung on the back. And he's carrying a large basket as well, which he's going to wander on in. I'll just sort of walk into the kitchen, I guess, and open up the basket and take out it's like a deep tray, which is just filled almost to the brim with just like moist soil. and he's just going to put it on the bench.
Anya, she follows Caius in, and she kind of sniffs the air a little bit, and frowns a little, and she's like, Is that soil that I smell?
Yes, it's dirt.
Why?
Oh, well, I was doing a bit of gardening, and I had a few leftover seedlings, so I thought I'd plant some in a tray and bring some over.
Oh. And Anya looks a little bit surprised, but she's like, Bertie will really like that, Caius. I don't know his rules about soil on the kitchen bench, but it's you, so I don't think he'll care. What sort of tea would you like?
Oh, just any sort of tea.
It's Bertie, and Newman visits. Newman brings gifts. There is an unfathomable amount of tea in this house, and sometimes that is a lot.
Right. Well, in that case, second shelf, 3 from the left on the back row.
Oh, you have, okay. And Anya, she closes her eyes and frowns a little bit, and like she's concentrating quite hard, and silvery sort of kind of warped a little bit mage hand comes up and pulls the cupboard door open and seeks out like the exact point where you described it, and pulls out like a little satchel of tea, and puts it down on the bench. And she as she sort of drops the magic, she shakes herself off a little bit, and she's like, oh, that's still not good. Okay.
That's new.
Oh. Yeah. I'm surprised Bertie didn't mention, but then it would make sense not to be talking about me. I have magic now. With Asmodeus gone, I'm still working on the feel of it. Magic feels weird, different when it's your own. Yeah.
I apologize if this might seem insensitive, but with your magic, do you have control of it, or does it have control of you?
Weirdly, and I think maybe because Asmodeus's magic was one where it was such a power imbalance all of the time. I don't think it's either. It feels not great because it's very overwhelming, but it's more It's like an extension of a limb. But I'm not used to the limb.
Okay, well, forgive me for the question. I've experienced different sorts of magic in my past, so.
Yes, I'm sorry if the magic made you uncomfortable. I find it, I can't see, but my mage hand knows. So it's sometimes easier. Yeah.
Darby, just out of curiosity, as someone who has never used Mage Hand before, would Caius have any idea if that sentence is one to strike curiosity, or?
Roll me an Arcana check.
14.
14. Remind me how you phrased it, Anya?
She basically phrased it that she can't see, but her mage hand knows. And I guess the intent behind that is, while the mage hand can't see, it has a more sort of physical sense of its surroundings, or a magical sense of its surroundings, in a better established way than her physical presence does.
And Caius is essentially trying to figure out, does that mean it is magic, or does that mean there is some other entity behind it?
Caius would pick up that it's definitely magic. There's no way of telling whether or not it, 14 wouldn't be enough to say whether or not there is another entity behind it. But I will say for a 14, there doesn't seem to be. You've seen Anya do some magic before, not much, but some. There is. It's hard to put your finger on, but there is a point. There is some difference between her previous use of magic and this.
Okay. Well, I mean, as long as it doesn't appear to be hurting you or giving you any sort of bad juju. Bertie told me that.
Anya laughs a little bit and she's like, it can be uncomfortable, but that's not, I don't think that that's the magic. I think that's me. Yeah, sorry, Bertie won't be here until later this afternoon. And she sort of finishes making the tea and offers it out to him, and she's like, but you're welcome to wait for him, I guess, or
I mean, I can. I don't have anything else on.
You've been spending a lot of time with him, I've noticed.
I have, yes. We both live in the same area, and you know, we're both building houses, and we both have interests.
Mm-hmm. You know Bertie's special, right?
Of course.
I think I know you and I don't see eye to eye on a lot of things. And this is the first time since what happened that we've been alone together.
Yes.
Bertie, and this is maybe more... I can be a private person. This is not something that I feel I should be private about. Bertie means a great deal to me. He's the first friendship that I've had that I feel was earned, and wasn't because of anyone else, and wasn't... I got to choose to be friends with him. And I know it's... I know it kind of seems like I'm just hanging around here because there's nothing else for me to do, but... And if you tell Bertie this... well, I wouldn't be able to do anything to you because he would see to that, but I would be very upset. But I'm staying here because because I want to spend time with Bertie, because I like Bertie, and because Bertie is my friend.
Okay. That's why I'm here as well.
I know. I hope... I really hope that being around Bertie is helping you as much as it's helping him. But I just want you to know, as someone who sees Bertie for who he is and who cares about Bertie greatly, if you misstep here, if you make him feel less than the value of what he is, like he has been made to feel in the past, there's nothing that I can do to you that would be worse than the loss of the dear friend you would lose. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Caius is going to sort of bow his head a little bit. And then he'll look up, and there's a very slight smile on his face. He says, I do understand. And I'm very happy that Bertie has friends like you to look out for him.
Anya, she nods, and she also has like a small kind of smile, and she's like, he's good to be around. I don't think he realizes how good he is to be around. It's awful. Not... I like being around him, and that he knows that I'm choosing to be here. And I hope he knows. I hope you show him that it's not just because you are living close to each other. Once again, please don't tell Bertie I'm telling you this, but I think sometimes it's important for him to feel like he's chosen by the people around him. So I see a lot, even when I am blind. I know you choose him, but just don't forget to let him know too.
You know that you're the second person who's told me that.
Huh. Anya takes like a big sip of her coffee. She's like, Ross or Newman?
I have a feeling both of them probably do. Ross has spoken to me. I think it's good to know that Bertie has a lot of people looking out for him. And while obviously it doesn't show it as well, I would like to think that I'm one of those people as well.
Anya, she kind of she just smiles a little bit into her coffee and she brings it down and she's like, Caius, you are very baffling to me in so many ways, and there's obviously a lot that we have not in common, or maybe too much in common. But while I think sometimes you have difficulty showing it, I know that you care and would protect Bertie regardless and look out for him. So just know that I see that. Just know that no matter where we are, no matter what is going on between us, I see that. And I appreciate it.
Thank you. Well, I mean, I like hanging around with Bertie. Bertie's been a very close friend of mine. I don't know. I like hanging around him, and I would do whatever I could to protect him.
I feel that way about Rook, you know.
Well, I mean, Rook can probably defend herself pretty well.
And so can Bertie.
You know, you make a fine point.
I know. Anya has a small sort of smile and just drinks her coffee and doesn't press the point any further.
Kaz looks mildly confused and spills a little bit of tea down his shirt.
Well, you're here, I guess. Would you like to... I'm a bit rusty with... I've been practicing the magic stuff, but... Friendly Jewel? Not for training, that's not... But just like... You're a strong fighter, I'm a strong fighter.
Caius is going to almost unconsciously rub a point in his forehead.
Only if
Sure.
you're comfortable with it.
No, absolutely. I haven't done much training myself in the last couple of hours, so I think it'd be very good.
Fucking hell, Caius. Good. Not inside though.
No, there's a lot of very expensive things here, and Bertie doesn't like it when you break them.
Yes. No. He definitely does not. Gardens?
Sure.
So the two of them make their way out into the gardens, sort of at the front of the house, and I think spend a substantial part of the afternoon sparring against each other. Good God.
Yeah. All right. I think that might be where we... Or is there something to be covered during said sparring?
No, more so towards the end of the sparring.
Okay, so as the sparring kind of starts to wind down, what do the... Oh, that's right. Yes. Anya, you hear something towards the front of the house.
So Anya and Caius are sort of deep into their fighting. Anya's probably using a rapier just so she can get a bit of close combat practice in.
Caius has dropped his shield and he's using a stick of some description to try and block the attacks and is trying to like egg Anya on to break through.
They're probably quite vocal about the fighting too, like just in the training sort of way you do when you're like, "Argh!" and you're trying to sort of put your all into it. At which point, I guess that sort of scene of them fighting in the entryway of the garden is what Bertie would come back to.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Bertie was probably scurrying along back home looking quite cheerful. His mansion grounds are like almost unnaturally overgrown with like plants everywhere and sort of like there's like pathways, but they're like quite, there's some spaces where it's just like a stone, so he's kind of like just jumping from stone to stone. So he's looking quite pleased with himself. Obviously business stuff's been going okay. He's sort of like got a satchel kind of slung over his shoulder and he's carrying sort of like quite a big basket in both arms, which looks to be kind of full of like grocery shopping, which for Bertie is like bread rolls, bundle of cut flowers, and a very big wine bottle. But he's like he's pretty cheerful. So he's kind of just like doing a little like just hopping from stone to stone. And then he kind of like slows down, I guess, as he hears that noise. His kind of ears would like prick up in the direction of where the noise is coming from. And then he kind of look well concerned and then hurry and then stop kind of just chilling and then hurry along to the clearing, I guess, where he'd see where they're sparring. And so they're pretty much gaining on each other, are they? Or
Yeah, so it probably looks quite intense. And obviously with the history.
Yes.
Character.
So there's the second grade kind of like turns around the corner and sees that, because he's probably like, sounds like Anya and Caius. So he turns around the corner and sees that they're doing that and they're fighting. Bertie probably immediately looks incredibly panicked. He probably drops everything he's carrying, like the basket he's carrying. And then in that same moment, we'll start... he'll probably start like charging out some kind of spell with his left hand. As like so he just drops it like, Caius, Anya, what are you doing?
As soon as the basket drops, Anya's sort of ears prick up, and she kind of pulls back from Caius, and she's like, Bertie's back. It sounds like trouble. And she reaches down to the ground and tosses his shield and sword up to him.
At the same time as they're in the air, Caius is going to reach down with his, well, just going to grab like the strap of Anya's quiver and kind of flick it up with his foot towards Anya.
Anya handily grabs it, and they both rush over towards Bertie. Bertie, is everything okay? What's happened?
Hi. What were you doing? You were fighting. No, everything's okay.
Are you okay?
No, I am. I saw you fighting, and I thought something. What were you two doing?
We were sparring.
Caius dropped in. He had a gift for you. I told him he could wait. We were just killing time. Sorry, I thank you for my bow. I'm going to go into town. It was a good sparring session, Caius. You two enjoy yourselves. And Anya sort of bends down, picks up the basket, and like puts anything that's dropped out and passes it back to Bertie. And she's like, I'll see you around, Caius.
Sure, yes.
Cool.
So it's good. Assumptions. Well, good. Enjoy your stroll, Anya.
Thanks. Enjoy. It was not my idea for them to be in the kitchen, but I assumed it would be all right because it's Caius. Sorry, and she leaves.
That was going to be a surprise.
She didn't say what it was.
Oh, well, if it's surprising, I'm sure I'd love it. Let's go find out. What have you done to my kitchen?
No, nothing. Everything's fine.
Oh, cool. Everything's fine. Good. Good.
Sorry if we startled you. I didn't.
No,
To happen.
I didn't. Well, I haven't seen you two talking much, so.
No, we haven't. But then we spoke for a little bit, and then we stopped speaking and started sparring. And I think, maybe we're okay.
Good. Well, good. Well, I mean, the two of you are good at fighting, so I guess you got something in common. Excellent.
I just want to state for the record, Anya is still barefoot.
Yuck. Lovely.
Does not care. She walks into Zsothorum, and she's probably going to go buy some pastries or something to bring back later.
And Caius is going to take Bertie in and show the little purple hibiscus seedlings, which are almost going to germinate in the next couple of days or so.
Bertie is incredibly delighted. He's momentarily like, oh, Dad, on my teaching table. But he's delighted. He's very happy. He was sort of babbling on in that fashion. Oh, excellent. Ooh.
And on that image, I think that's where we're going to leave that scene.
Sorry for listening, guys.
Thank you for listening.
Hey.